Hello, I'm Roberto Park with Innovative Sports Training. Welcome to another Health Detective Talk. Today's topic is, who is responsible for your health? Before I give you my answer and my professional opinion, I'm going to go over a few components that might stir up some thoughts within you. Now, you may have already answered the question, who is responsible for my health? But after I go over these components, you might have a different perspective. Now, we as a population tend to be more macro-oriented. In other words, we're only concerned about what we can see with the eye. But what about what you can't see? Oftentimes, diseases and injuries and things that are holding you back in life are things that you really cannot see, that you don't realize that's going on with you. Someone may have to bring it to your attention. But from a health perspective, I like to look at the micro. Now, the macro is important, don't get me wrong, but the micro is important too, because we're peeling away the onion layers to see what the core root of your health issues are. Unfortunately, we don't do that enough, in my opinion, in the medical industry. Now, I know sometimes I'm really critical of medical doctors, but too often times we go to the doctor, things are not right with us, the doctor looks at us, okay, take these pills, call me tomorrow, see how I feel. If that doesn't work, more medication. 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 If that doesn't work, we'll do some surgery. Instead of looking at what's going on microscopically, that could be something that's very, very simple that you may have to eliminate in life or change a little bit in your lifestyle. Okay, now the next one is acute and chronic. Now, acute is when something happens to you initially, during the acute phase of a disease or an injury, is when inflammation will start to establish itself, or some sort of disease process begins. During the acute phase, when it becomes chronic, such as I have circled here, that's when it becomes a big time issue. In fact, sometimes acute can be very, very healthy, because the body's trying to really protect itself. But when it becomes chronic, that's when the body starts to tear itself down and you have a disease process. Which leads me to the next one, anabolic versus catabolic. And I'll do catabolic first. Catabolic is when things are being torn down in the system. Cells are being torn down. You're working out hard, you're training hard, you're working hard on your job, you're tired at the end of the day. Your body has reached its catabolic state where cells are being torn down. Now, anabolic is when things are being built up. Those cells are regenerating within you. So catabolic is tear down. Unfortunately, we spend too much time there, which is also related to chronic issues. We need to be more anabolic. Now, you can become too anabolic, and that's not healthy either. There should be a healthy balance between these two here. But unfortunately, because of the chronic state of disease in our country, we tend to lean in the catabolic category. The next one is rest and digest versus fight and flight. Now, rest and digest is what we call parasympathetic from the autonomic nervous system perspective. Fight and flight, which I will circle here, we spend too much time there. Once again, that is related to being too catabolic and being too chronic. Fight and flight is related to the sympathetic aspect of the autonomic nervous system, because we are highly stressed out. Technology was supposed to make things easier for us. I disagree with that. I think technology in some ways has made us more stressed. If you carry your phone with you all the time, your smartphone, you're always worried about your next text message. You're always worried about getting the message to someone else. You're so hyper into, gotta get it done now, gotta be number one, gotta beat the other guy. And trust me, I'm a competitive person myself, but sometimes you gotta learn how to dial it back a little bit and relax. So, fight or flight versus rest and digest. Unfortunately, we spend too much time here, which leads to poor health. Now, the next one is genetics versus epigenetics. I've said this before many times in my health detective talks and other talks I've done in the past. 80, I'll take it down even lower than that. 70 to about 90% of diseases are preventable. So that means only about 10 to 30% of diseases are related to your genetics. That's pretty low, guys. That's really, really low. So there's a term called epigenetics. Now, epigenetics means you still have these same genes, but epigenetics, you're in control of how those genes express themselves. So we spend too much time worrying about our genetic makeup instead of our epigenetic abilities, which is related to your lifestyle, which is food, activity, exercise, stress management. Now the next one and last one up here is reactive versus proactive. If you're a proactive person, you have a good perspective of life. You're willing to make investments and do some research to learn more about your health, to find someone who can help you. So when you're reactive, that means that every little symptom that pops up, you go to the ER, you go to the doctor, and you find a drug to try to mask the symptom. That is not a healthy way to do it. And unfortunately, once again, I'll circle that in red, we spend too much time being reactive, not enough time being proactive. Proactive basically means you're in prevention mode. You're in the mode of looking out for what's best for your health as much as you can most of the time. Now, what can you do to improve your health? Educate yourself. Ask more questions. Find a good practitioner in the field, such as myself, who can facilitate what you're doing. I'm going to answer the question now, who is responsible for your health? Here's your answer. You. I'll put that in a darker color for you, with an exclamation point. You are responsible for your health. My job as a trainer, strength coach, practitioner is to help facilitate you to become more responsible for your health. I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you. I will help you in terms of running labs on you to see what your biomarkers are doing, in terms of doing some assessments, some physical assessments on you, to do some lifestyle assessments on you, to do some sports performance assessments on you. If you're a highly competitive athlete, I'm going to help facilitate you to become more responsible for your own health. Because your health, guys, is not the responsibility of Roberto Parker. It's not the responsibility of your dietitian, your medical doctor, your massage therapist. It's not the responsibility of your spouse. It's your responsibility. You have to find people in your life that's going to help you facilitate that. Hey, look, when I go to the auto mechanic and I have them fix my car, trust me, my knowledge of cars is very, very limited. But I want to have a reasonably somewhat functional knowledge of how the automobile works, because I want to make sure that this mechanic is not selling me a bunch of crap that I don't need. Because let's face it, the medical industry, it's a business. It's $1 billion business, which is mainly influenced by the pharmaceutical companies. I'm just being upfront and real with you. So you are responsible for your health. Find a person out there who can help facilitate that. Now, I'm located in the Kansas City area, so if you want me to help you and to work with you, even though you can't physically be here, you may not live in this area, there's a thing called the internet. We can communicate. There's a thing called a phone, getting back to the high-tech stuff, called a smartphone. Some of you may have a flip phone, which I had that for years, but I just got rid of it recently. But we have these smartphones today. We can do FaceTime. We can talk. I can email you information that you have to fill out, that are assessments, and we can find out what's going on with you. And we can communicate that way. Now, I'll be honest with you, it's not as good as being here in person, but it's still pretty good. So guys, if you want some help, give me a ring, contact me, text me, email me. My email is rwpsports@yahoo.com. My phone number is listed up here, 816-405-7703. I will be more than happy to work with you and even give you a 20 to 30 minute free consultation, one time only though. And from there, we'll see if it's a good fit for you and for me. I may not be your type of practitioner or coach. I like to think that I am. And guess what? You may not be the type of person I want to work with. It's a two-way street. But guys, I'm here to help you. I hope this information has informed you and inspired you to go out and make things happen for yourself. Guys, take care.